We're in Belfast here at roughly where the Odyssey Arena is, and we're going to take the train to Comber. We're going to follow the old Comber Railway, the Belfast County Down Railway line. Today that line is actually still highly visible on the landscape. If you zoom back, take a high level view of Belfast, you see this big long green strip? That was the railway line. Trains haven't run on this for quite some time now, but it's now part of the Comber Greenway, so you can ride your bike along it. So it's remarkable that it was never developed, actually. Typically in Northern Ireland, people tend to build houses on anything that isn't nailed down, but for some reason this seems to have survived. Probably because a lot of it was grade separated, it might have been inconvenient to build on it or whatever reason, but I'll take it. So we're going to start off, there's a couple of stations here that are worth looking at. Starting off with Queen's Quay. There's no station there anymore, but we're going to look at the site anyway. So there used to be a major station here called Queen's Quay. There were three big terminus stations in Belfast. They were Great Victoria Street, York Road, and Queen's Quay. And this is what Queen's Quay used to look like from above. 1923, this photo was taken. It was a substantial site. It was a pretty big station. So all the rail traffic from Bangor and County Down would come into Belfast via this station. It had a big grand front, yeah, look at that, big grand front entrance. Very similar in style to the old Portadown station and the surviving Monaghan station, actually. You see a lot of similarities between these railway buildings. It doesn't look like it was very well maintained in its later years. And there's how it looks now, not very impressive. And there's a sign. The photo was taken in 2014. It still has the name of Queen's Quay Railway Station still on it. So this sign must predate when the station was demolished. Quite interesting. So there's an existing station there now, Titanic Quarter, and that's on the line that goes across the river and into Great Victoria Street Station. So let's make our way east, out through East Belfast then. Let's follow the line. I'm not going to look at all the crossing points because there's just too many of them, but we will be checking out the stations along the way. So the trains would have come through here. So the space between these terraced houses, this would have been the railway line. And I would imagine they would have passed by this wall. So this might have been a level crossing here, actually. As you can see, it's changed quite a bit, so some things have been built on top of it. It hasn't totally escaped development, but this part here is quite nice. You know, they've turned it into a nice little bit of parkland. Bit of a blank wall there. They've done their best with it by putting murals on it. I'm not a fan of blank walls in cities. Tends to be shelter for antisocial behaviour. I prefer there to be windows on the street. People tend to behave themselves when there's windows overlooking them. The Upper Newtownards Road, bit of a big junction here. I really am at a loss to understand where the trains would have gone here, and I imagine they'd have gone underneath at some point. That's where they passed through. Very hard to tell here. You wouldn't know a railway had ever been anywhere near it. And there was a station here. Is this where Bloomfield Station was? I believe it is, yeah. Yeah, there was a station right here, actually. There was a level crossing, and a station building, and a footbridge over the top. Quite an elaborate setup, actually. There it is. Bloomfield Station, Upper Beersbridge Road. So there's the view from the platforms. This building doesn't seem to be there anymore. And there's the view from Beersbridge Road. So let's see if we can recreate that view today. Let's just get down the road slightly. Back up towards the tracks. So that's roughly the same view you're looking at today. So the train's crossed over here. And as we make our way up to the next junction, there's an interesting thing here I want to show you with this crossing point. I want to look at this bridge. See the reinforced concrete on the outside? If you look a little closer on the inside, you see this old brickwork and an old brick arch. And there's a better view of it from the other side. Okay, you got this modern reinforced concrete, and then on the inside an old Victorian era brick arch. So it looks like this bridge has been widened. Very cool. And why they widened it doesn't become very clear when you look at it from above, because most of the space is taken up by these chevrons here. And I'm not sure what the point of this traffic island is. Maybe it's because of cars coming around the blind corner, maybe, keeping pedestrians safe. But traffic islands like this are a death trap for cyclists. It creates a pinch point. There are better ways of designing roads than this. I won't get on that soapbox today. Alright, let's keep pressing on. I think there was another station down here, I think. Sandown Road. Is this where the next station was? Neil's Hill. Yeah, Neil's Hill station was about here. And it's one of the, again, there's nothing left of it. I think there might have been grade separation here. Let's take a look at the old photos of Neil's Hill station. Might have been a level crossing there. I don't see any evidence of grade separation. So that's how it used to look. That building doesn't seem to exist anymore. So there was a station, yeah. There's a big sign for the Comber Greenway, look at that. Must be really nice to be able to ride your bike all the way out through here to Comber. Okay, so that was Neil's Hill station, and the next one is Knock station. These stations are really close together, actually. Yeah, right here. So there was a station here, and doesn't appear to be anything left of it, really. There are some historic photos of Knock station, or one photo. They're not very good, these photos. They're kind of blurry. But again, you know, had the footbridge. I'd imagine this photo was taken from the footbridge. So that was Knock station. Oops, can't go too far there. Okay, and I don't think there's any more stations now until Dundonald, is that right? Yeah. So let's go non-stop to Dundonald then. Let's follow the Greenway. I'm not going to look at every one of these photo points. I'll let you look at them in your own time in the Google view. No stations here because this would have been open country. There would have been none of this urban sprawl at the time when the trains were running here. But we'll check out a few of the crossing points now. So the Greenway makes a little detour here. Do you see that? It doesn't go straight across. It goes around here and then down a slope, which makes me think this must have been a grade separation. So there must have been a bridge here the trains passed underneath. See how that makes a little detour? And are we getting into Dundonald station already here? 22, Old Dundonald Road, yeah. So Dundonald station would have been about here somewhere. And from memory, I'm not sure if there's if there's anything left of it. I don't think there is. Could be mistaken. Let me know in the comments if you know more about that. Does the old Dundonald station survive? Oops. I don't know why Google does that sometimes. This looks quite old here. I wonder if that's related to the railway. So this is roughly the site of the old Dundonald station. And there's a good website here which I'm going to give you a link to. Dundonald station then and now. This is an historical society from Dundonald. But there's the old photo. This photo of the old station. Doesn't look like a very big station actually. But yeah, I'll give you a link to that website. You can read all about it. Okay, let's keep following the Greenway. Crosses over this roundabout here. There's really no traces of the railway at that point. There's not a whole lot to see here until you start coming into Comber. crossing point here. Now this is a nice touch. There's an old bridge here. The bridge abutments are still in place. And what they did was they recycled, they just left them in place and then they put this new structure on top. I mean, obviously that's not strong enough to hold a train, but plenty strong enough to hold bicycles and pedestrians and runners. Which is a pretty good illustration of why greenways are such an attractive option for policymakers, because they're so much cheaper to build than railways, definitely cheaper to build than roads. Because bikes are really low maintenance, they don't need the kind of heavy infrastructure that you need for motor vehicles. So I can certainly see why they would want to build more stuff like this. It's an easy choice to make. And this is where the Comber Greenway really ends, and it doesn't end very well actually, because I mean, look at this. They don't even give you a curb cut. You have to lift your wheel up to get onto the greenway. But you know, one step at a time. Rome wasn't built in a day, and I'm sure this, where the greenway is here, we could get a better, more bicycle-friendly route all the way into Comber from here. This isn't very bicycle-friendly at all. You'd have to jump down off the curb and ride on this busy road. You know, the cars have all sorts of big sweeping, look at this giant radius turn, a very generous turn here. This is so you can go around the corner without having to touch your brake pedal. This is the kind of infrastructure that's designed to keep cars happy. But it's deadly for pedestrians, and it's certainly not very good for cyclists. This puts bikes at risk. Pedestrians have to make a detour here. In fact, there's no provision for pedestrians on any of this road here. There's no footpath. I guess they don't expect many people to walk on it. It's probably reasonable. I wouldn't expect to walk there myself, but I would like to be able to ride my bike on this. This is the old railway line you're going down here, by the way. This road was built on top of the old Belfast County Down Railway. And we'll just keep on going here at street level. And when you see that tower on the right, that's a sign that you have arrived. You have arrived at... Did I overshoot it a little bit there? Yeah, I did. That's a sign that you have arrived at the former Comber train station. So the old Comber railway station was in here. And I'm happy to say the building is still intact and it's still in use. It's used by the fire service. So it's a fire station. Look at that, they kept a lot of the features of the old building. They've added a little bit on here, I think. This is modern. But the character of the building remains more or less intact. Actually done quite a nice job on this. And you know, a fire station is a good use of the building. It means it's going to be maintained. They're going to look after it. So that's as far as we're going to go for today. I might do a separate video tracing the line farther out into County Down. So that's the Comber Greenway. Could we get trains running on that route again? Maybe we could. Getting them through the middle of Comber could be tricky. But the Greenway is a good use of the line for now, anyway. I certainly don't have a problem with it.